Recording in progress.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Rotary Club of Fort Worth. It is Friday, March the 1st. February's over. Spring weather's on the way. It is so great to see each and every one of you here today. So we're going to start out today's program with the invocation by Tim Halden, Major Accounts Executive, Charter Communications. I didn't know you were with Charter. Okay, talk to you about my cable bill later. And followed by that, we do not have a piano player today, so it's going to be an a cappella day. So please rise and join me with this invocation.
Thank you, President Kirk. Good afternoon, Rotarians and esteemed guests. If you'd please bow your head. Almighty and everlasting God, who rulest in the kingdoms of men, let thy strong hands control the nations and order their doings unto the fulfillment of thy purpose upon earth. Uphold with thy power for those who are striving after true brotherhood and working for righteousness and peace. Guide the hearts and minds of rulers and statesmen that they may, before all things, seek the furtherance of thy kingdom and the establishment of justice and freedom for all peoples. Amen. Amen. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, came through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, everyone. Wow, that is awesome. Thank you. Now, got an announcement. We are calling all musicians. If you play the piano, please let Aurora know. We would love to have you do the piano instead of us singing just a cappella all the time. All right. Next up for a visitor's welcome, Judy Young's president and CEO, A Wish with Wings. I caught her just as she was putting her plate down. Perfect. So come on up, Judy.
Thank you, President Kirk. We have a few guests today, and we are delighted to welcome you to our Rotary Club. First is Rotarian Bud Walker, who's a guest of Jim Britton. Jennifer, I'm not sure if Jennifer and Derek Moffitt are here yet. Yes, Jennifer Moffitt, guest of Derek Moffitt. Clara Cantu, guest of Tennessee Walker. Joshua Friend, guest of Rosa Badeja. And a visiting Rotarian, Ron Cross from the Sunrise Rotary Club of Arlington. Welcome.
Thank you, Judy. All right, it's time for a sponsor announcement. Today's sponsor is Patterson Law Group, courtesy of Rotarian Tennessee Walker. Where's Tennessee at? Right there he is. Oh, here. Cool. Thank you, Tennessee. All right, Patterson Law Group is the largest personal injury law firm in Tarrant County. With roots going back to 1995, Patterson Law Group has successfully guided approximately 6,500 injured clients through the personal injury legal process. Patterson Law Group prides itself on being a community law firm owned and operated by lawyers who are dedicated to serving the people and interests of this community. Patterson Law Group's success is built on the foundation of client service and attention to detail, not ridiculous TV ads. Personal injury is Patterson Law Group's bread and butter. They hope that you and your family never need their services, but if and when you do, Patterson Law Group is the right call. Thank you very much. And now the guide for today. Okay, for today's program. First of all, sir, we're gonna do the four-way test. So for those of you who are guests and new to this, the four-way test is something that we as Rotarians strive to use as a filter for everything we think, say, or do in our life. If it doesn't pass this test, well, we try not to think, say, or do those things. So if you will, please repeat along with me. Number one, is it the truth? Number two, is it fair to all concerned? Number three, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And number four, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you. Now, throwing that aside for a few moments, we have an esteemed alum of the newscasting circuit, past president J.R. Labby, partner and chief communication officer, CSE Leadership LLC. I know it's going to be a good one.
Thank you. Thank you all. You make me feel about as welcome as a woman in Rotary in 1950. And that's what we're going to talk about today. This being the start of Women's History Month, and in light of the fabulous young women that we have with us at our meeting today, I am invoking past president privilege to change this newscast into a mini documentary about Rotary's journey to opening doors to female members. Because it took a minute and the United States Supreme Court to make it happen. So Rotary was created in 1905 as the first business-to-business club in the United States, and it very much reflected the business landscape at the time. Men owned the businesses. But know this, women were welcome at Rotary events as spouses. They were called Rotary Anns. Isn't that lovely, Rotary Anns? But the door to membership for women was closed. Now, lots of women entered the workforce in the 1940s as the men went off to fight World War II, and many of them stayed in the workforce after the fighting was over. In 1950, Rotary's Council of Legislation moved to delete the word male in the standard Rotary Club Constitution. Alas, it was too soon. 14 years later, a club in Ceylon, which today is known as Sri Lanka, proposed admitting women. Delegates at the 1964 council voted that down, along with two other motions that would have allowed women to be honorary members. Now we're up to 1972, when a US Rotary Club proposed admitting women during the council meeting, and nope, it was not time yet. 3 separate proposals to admit women were on the agenda at the 1977 Rotary International Convention, and a Brazilian club proposed admitting women as honorary members. All efforts failed. Meanwhile, the Rotary Club of Duarte, California threw caution to the wind and admitted women into their club. And for that violation, they were rewarded with the termination of their charter by Rotary International in 1978. Duarte Rotarians did not go quietly into that dark night. In 1983, they filed a lawsuit in the California Superior Court, where the judges ruled in favor of Rotary International's gender-based qualification for members. In 1986, the California Court of Appeals reversed that court decision. The California Supreme Court said, we're really not interested in playing in this sandbox, and they stepped away. So the case was appealed to the United States Supreme Court. And on May 4th, in 1987, the Supremes ruled that U.S. Rotary clubs may not exclude women from membership. Rotary, yes, thank you. Rotary International issued a policy statement that American Rotary clubs could admit qualified women as members. And finally, in 1989, at its first meeting after the Supreme Court decision, Rotary International voted to eliminate the requirement that membership be limited to men. From 1950 to 1989, finally, game, set, match. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Past President JR. Now we got a couple of announcements. First up, Chris Jordan, founding steward of Electroacoustics Inc. Chris, come on up here.
Thank you. Go ahead and put the sponsor, there you go. So the Rotary RMBA is fully funded, thanks to all of these people up here. Okay? The top three, Tarleton, Bank of Texas, and R.D. Howard, donated or sponsored $5,000 each. Okay. I'm pretty certain every company represented up here is a Rotary represented or owned company. So if you are part of that company that has sponsored, would you please stand up? We really want to thank you, acknowledge you. So, the judging is going to be complete this weekend by Monday. A few of us will know who the winners are. The rest of you will have to wait until April 19th for the RMBA awards ceremony. But I just wanted to take this time to thank everybody for their sponsorship, for their generosity to make this. In 4 years, our Rotary Club has sponsored about $100,000 to change the face of who we are as a club. And that's a pretty big investment to make us a different and a better club. That's a lot. Okay. Taking off my RMBA hat for a second. We do have a hearing assistance device if you have a hearing deficiency. I had a guy come up to me this morning, we put one on, it makes a huge difference. So if you have trouble hearing, come see Tom or I, and we'll get you hooked up. So, anyway.
Thank you very much. Chris, I may hit you up for that hearing device. Huh? Yeah, exactly. Now, next up, Akua Ayanfo, CEO and founder, EA Wealth Management, LLC. Come on up and give us our next announcement.
Thanks. Hi, fellow Rotarians. I would like to say thank you very much for everyone heeding to our call for the hygiene and food kits for refugee services. Some of you have donated already, so we're super excited, but I wanted to remind everyone of the fact that we actually have an MVP race going on. So for those that have never won an MVP award, this is your chance. We've got you, okay? You don't have to run or lift weights, but this is an opportunity for you to do that. We don't want you to buy the items, but we want you to donate the money to buy the items. So please scan this, take a look at your email as well, click on the link, and buy as many kits as you can, and we will award an MVP trophy on March 22nd. Also, just to let you know, we still need dental care services, cataract surgery, and optical services. So since we have such a big club, if you have any resources, you know anyone that can actually provide these services, please feel free and contact me so I can get you in touch with both Catholic Charities and World Relief Services. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Akua. Secretary Maddie Compton, retired federal prosecutor, come on up and give us a second reading, ma'am.
Good afternoon. We have one second reading today. The name is Jim Boaz. His title is Financial Advisor. Company, LPL Financial. Classification, Finance. And his proposer is Mike Herman. Jim is a transfer from the Edmond Summit Rotary Club in Edmond, Oklahoma, and a past president of the North Oklahoma City Rotary Club. I move his election subject to attending a new member Rotary information session.
A motion, second. Second over here, Bob. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. He is hereby elected as a member. Welcome to the club. Thank you, Madam Secretary. All right, we have a blue badger today. Yay, Rachel. Dr. Rachel Capua, Dean Capua, Tarleton State University. Come on up. Let's change that thing out. Right here, right up front. You bring it, yeah. Right, I'll trade you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Anybody out here with a red badge, you know what you got to do. You've been to the orientation, so let's get those converted quickly. All right. Now it's the main event. Wow, we are early for that too. Tennessee Walker, partner, Patterson Law Group, come on up. And I guess you're the chairperson of the day, so do your thing, sir.
Thank you, President Kirk. I look forward to this day every year. It's a chance for our club to get a front row seat to a very bright future. We're inundated with negativity every day, but if you really want to see what the future looks like, I encourage you, go volunteer at the Young Women's Leadership Academy. The students, the staff, the school as a whole, it's truly an amazing place. There are great things happening there. I can't thank them enough for their continued partnership with our club. I believe this is the 8th year running that we have partnered with the Young Women's Leadership Academy for our four-way speech contest. Every year, the young women amaze me with their preparation and the bravery to take this stage and speak to us. I'm really happy this year to not announce, a lot of you probably know this, but let everyone know our partnership has expanded. In addition to the four-way speech contest, we now have a Rotary Interact Club at YWLA. One of our contestants today, Elizabeth Alanese, actually founded that club. Fellow Rotarian Matthew Sylvia, who couldn't be here today, deserves a ton of credit. He's spearheading that effort on behalf of the club, and it's a great organization, and it will only grow and get stronger as the efforts of Matt and the efforts of Young Women's Leadership Academy are going to make it that way. So I'm very proud that our partnership with them is strengthening. If you haven't been to this before, thank you. If you haven't been to this before, today is a competition day, but really it's a celebration of work that some young ladies, 3 particularly, from Young Women's Leadership Academy have put in. We go over the four-way test at every meeting, and they've been tasked with applying the four-way test to something that's near and dear to them. There's no set topics, it's what is near and dear to them, and they're going to take that topic and they're going to analyze it using our test. They'll be judged today. We have 3 volunteer judges I want to recognize: Deborah Young, Dana Fitzpatrick, and Larry Amphin. Thank you all for your service. And Ryan Barrera is volunteering as our timekeeper today. It is a timed competition, so he will let the young ladies know where they are in course of the time of their speech. So thank you, Ryan. There will be cash prizes for each lady here, and I want to thank my employer, Patterson Law Group, for that. Patterson Law Group continues to support me in putting on this contest, support these young ladies. They will also, the winner will qualify to move on to speak at the regional competition against other clubs in our area, and then potentially to the district competition, which is an even broader level of competition. Last year, we were blessed with our winner, Eve Mead. She went on and won the district competition. So I think we're doing something right, and I look forward to sending another wonderful competitor to regionals and then on to district. Before we get started today, we've got some very special guests that I want to recognize. I am a girl dad. I've got 2 boys, but I do have a baby girl. She is 3, so I guess baby's relative at this point. But I can only hope that she goes on to be as driven and as successful as the young ladies we're going to hear from today. And I'm elated that we have parents in the audience with us today of our wonderful competitors. So we've got Alba and Benedicto Lorenzana, parents of Jessica Lorenzana. Please, yeah. And we also have Letitia Alanese. And Letitia has the distinction of being the parent of 2 of our contestants today who are sisters. You're raising wonderful young ladies. Thank you for being here. Now, without further ado, I'm going to introduce our first competitor today. Our first competitor will be Elizabeth Alanese. Elizabeth with an A. Alanese is a junior at Young Women's Leadership Academy. She fearlessly dedicates herself to achieving her ambitious goals. As the founder of YWLA's Rotary Interact Club, she has embarked on a journey filled with leadership and service. Post-graduation from YWLA, Elizabeth is determined to pursue a career in politics with the ultimate dream of becoming the first Mexican-American female president of the United States. Additionally, but there's more. Additionally, she aspires to establish her own church to educate young children about God's teaching. A dreamer, a leader, and a devoted follower of God, Elizabeth is paving her way to make a positive impact on the world. Elizabeth, the stage is yours.
Growing up, I was taught to have pride in where I come from, being south side of Fort Worth. We can all thank my dad for that, and it also helps that the majority of my family also resides there. Another thing that my parents thought to implement in me was that I have a voice, and that my voice has power and that it can bring change. They had big plans for me ever since I was born, and so that's where I'm headed to at this moment. Has anybody heard of the organization Hemphill No Se Vende? If not, I definitely encourage you to go look that up later. It translates to Hemphill Not For Sale. It's an organization of residents of Hemphill coming together to combat the unwanted and uninformed changes that a firm of some sort thought to come in and create multifamily homes in that area, which of course raises the property tax, raises the house cost, which pushes people that are of low income out. I'm going to use the 4-way test to analyze the gentrification and the displacement that follows it. 1, is it the truth? Is it true that gentrification causes displacement? Yes, that is a reality, unfortunate one for many. According to the Center of American Progress, over 110,000 African Americans and 24,000 Hispanics were displaced due to gentrification. Gentrification is when large corporations or people with a lot of money decide to come into a neighborhood and quote unquote fix it or up the value of it by adding some things, when all reality, all they need is maybe the streets to be fixed or a stoplight to finally start working. Number two, is it fair to all concerned? No, it's not fair to those that can't afford to keep up with the ever-rising property tax or the rising house cost at all. It is fair to those, though, who are deciding to start a family and have that kind of money to move in because it'll make a great home for them. Number three, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Yes to goodwill when it comes to fixing the street lights and the roads, especially potholes. I know everybody gets frustrated with those. But no to goodwill when it comes to causing so many families so many stressors because they're already barely making it, barely putting food on the table, and now they have this to worry about. And for friendships, it's debatable, but going through something like this together in a community has to have brought some type of connection, brought some communities together to combat these unwanted changes. And number four, will it be beneficial to all concerned? No. It won't be beneficial to those that can't keep up with the rising cost, once again, but it will be beneficial to those that do have the money, that do want to move into a nice neighborhood, starting a family with a mom, a dad, a sister, a brother, a dog, a cat, a hamster, even so. And so by using the four-way test, I've come to a conclusion. We can't stop gentrification from happening. But what we can do is minimize the negative impact that it brings by taking into account the residents' needs, rather than just putting something out there to look pretty. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Fantastic job. Our next competitor, seated next to Elizabeth, is also her younger sister, Arissa Alanis. Arissa, a freshman at YWLA, possesses a keen sense of observation. Her name, signifying the best, serves as a guiding principle in her pursuits. Regularly attending teen court sessions, Arissa aspires to combine her creativity with her passion for law, envisioning a future as a fashion lawyer. Drawing inspiration from a multitude of sources, she believes the world is in need of fresh ideas and fervor. Arissa has a determination to enact positive change. Please help me in welcoming Arissa Alanis.
When I was little, I always wanted to dress myself, and I would collect the most mismatched outfits in my entire life and show it to my parents, which they thought was the cutest and dumbest thing they'd ever seen in their lives. But for most of my life, my mom and my dad let me express myself however I want through my clothes, and I feel that's why I dislike school uniforms so much. I know it's supposed to be a sign of unity and strength between students, but I can't help but feel that it stifles my ability to express myself by being told what I cannot and can wear. This is why I'm going to use the four-way test to see if school uniforms really do prevent students from expressing themselves and their differences. 1, is it the truth? Yes, it is the truth. There's no prominent evidence that's been ever stated that uniforms improve learning or discipline in any way. No consistent evidence anyways. There's nothing that shows that it brings more learning into the classroom or that it stops from distractions. Anyone that tells you that are telling you tall tales. Students having uniforms does stunt them from expressing themselves. Look at your clothes right now and look at those around you. The way that they dress will tell you a lot about how they want to present themselves. Especially with kids my age, teenagers, children, all that. At my own school, students wear accessories, dye their hair, or decorate their backpacks and MacBooks to get that little taste of individuality in their day-to-day life so people can know who they are before they even talk to them. 2, is it fair to all concerned? Of course not. Though it may give more freedom to students, it may also cost parents a bit more money per year, depending if their child's going through fashion phases or just always wanting the new thing. Although uniforms are usually much more expensive than spending a couple more dollars on clothing every month. Mine, for example, I looked up the prices and wheesh, it's crazy. 3, will it build goodwill and better friendships? I believe that it will. If students are able to express and dress the way that they think will make them comfortable in their learning space, it will not only attract those who think or dress the way that they do, but it will bring a sense of comfortability in the classroom. A study done by Area and Sari in 2022 provide that kids with uniforms were less likely to feel socially connected with their teachers and their fellow students. The most speculated reason of this being that youth needs fashion to express themselves. And it was also proved that students' scores were lower on assessments of their self-worth in uniform schools. 4, will it be beneficial to all concerned? I believe that it is. It will be. Schools will most likely have more student interactions, and students will be more engaged in lessons while they feel comfortable in their own skin. And just to be clear, I am against school uniforms, not dress codes. I believe that dress codes will help benefit everyone. Schools can keep that little bit of control over their students and what they can wear so they don't go to school, wearing swimsuits or anything. And students have a huge variety to choose from of what they want to wear. With the 4-way test, I have decided that there are too many pros and not enough cons to not keep uniforms. I am aware that schools like mine have the impression that we should dress to impress or dress for the job we want. And while that may have been the case in the early 2000s or late 1990s, now more than ever, there are jobs and people that seek out those who are unique, and they can only be identified by what they're wearing or how they present themselves. A new generation means a new way of thinking. We are not a corporate generation. We are a world-changing one. Thank you.
Thank you, Arissa. I'll share a quick antidote. I have 2 colleagues here today, and all 3 of us are wearing suit coats. We share your situation. We are all recovered commercial lawyers, and if we're not in the courthouse, putting a suit coat on is quite the burden for us. I like to express myself in jeans and a polo or shorts and a t-shirt, so I'm right there with you. Great work. Our 3rd competitor today is Jessica Lorenzana. Jessica Lorenzana is a sophomore at Young Women's Leadership Academy. Jessica enjoys physics and is president of the debate team. In the future, Jessica hopes to pursue a career in engineering and a minor in accounting. She later plans on becoming a mechanical engineer. Please welcome Jessica Lorenzana.
As I stand here today, I think we all share one thing in common. We all love and strive to have money. However, it may be difficult to know where to begin as a young individual like myself, or even as an independent adult. Therefore, it's critical to implement financial literacy into our school's curriculum for the benefit of individuals, friendships, and communities. So let's begin with the first question. Is it the truth? As of currently, the US has a silent crisis, meaning credit card and student loan debt is at an all-time high. 41% of Americans struggle to make ends meet as they're living paycheck to paycheck, even if they're earning $150,000 to $200,000 annually, as reports Forbes. Therefore, if we're able to redistribute our district funds in order to cover the expenses of financial literacy courses for students, we're allowing students like myself to be able to acquire critical skills like creating long-term goals, as well as establishing a prosperous economic foundation for our future. And that's pivotal during these times. As we know, our economy can be unpredictable. Second, is it fair to all concerned? Well, it's not fair that we as students do not have the opportunity or the option to select these courses in order to become highly compelled individuals, but it would be fair to implement these in the near future, not only to create a high-functioning society or to create economic development, but also these skills that we're earning during these courses can be fundamental during our school years as well as later in adulthood. And superintendents across the nation share the same ideologies. They think that students really need these. For example, in California, Superintendent Tony Thurmond has implemented these courses into his own course. He says that students feel more comfortable making financial decisions and just feel a lot more fulfilled after taking these classes. And his ideologies are shared amongst the nation with different individuals, because young adults are entering the workforce or pursuing higher education with little to no financial proficiency. And unfortunately, this leads to students blindly applying for student loans that later take over their expenses and any of that sort because of the high interest rates. However, students are not entirely to blame for falling victims to treacherous loans. Navigating these processes with little to no guidance is very difficult. Therefore, it's important to uphold skills when entering adulthood, such as becoming familiar with taxes, budgeting our paychecks, paying for college, credit cards, loans, and most importantly, saving as well as investing for retirement. And although this may seem long ahead for us students, it's very important to look at the small things that can occur if we don't not pay attention. For example, if we miss a small payment for a car, we're practically letting our credit scores come down with us as well, which that's a very important thing here in order to acquire any car, a house, etc. And this leads us to the question, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And the answer is yes. Yes, it will. When students are thoroughly taught about financial proficiency during their school years, they're able to carry this through their communities, to parents, to friends, to neighbors, and as well as make their own networks. For example, Goodwill stores have done just that. And by this, I mean, through community students that influence them to create their own networks, they have able to give back to community students who really need these critical courses. And additionally, we're allowing community students to establish skills that they will need for adulthood, and also hopefully bring a ripple effect to a complete halt. And by this, again, Forbes reports that students that aren't knowledgeable about financial literacy tend to struggle with anxiety over budgeting. And as we know, financial worries are #1 stressors in people's lives. Therefore, by creating these courses that will hopefully combat these problems, we're also solving underlying issues. And by solving underlying issues, we're hopefully targeting the problem in general by creating a solution that will fix every single thing thereon. And lastly, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Once again, yes. With guidance of financial literacy, we're allowing students to improve mental health or learn how to budget or even open doors for new career paths. There's a plethora of reasons for students to be able to use these for their own good. And when it comes to a personal perspective, I think it wouldn't only be helpful to myself, but to my school and to my peers most importantly. It's important to gain experience before college, and this is the reason I'm utilizing the 4-Way Challenge today to establish and reinforce the importance of including financial literacy into our school's curriculum. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you all. Fantastic. Every year, I think I'm more impressed that you do such wonderful work. I do want to take just a minute and ask Gaynell Belazon to stand up. Ms. Belazon. Ms. Belazon is our YWLA staff representative here today, but she's much more than that. She's the point person in dealing with both myself and with Matt to schedule meetings after school hours, to work with these young ladies on speeches, to hold the Interact Club meetings, and to do so much more. So we greatly, greatly appreciate you and just how easy you make it for us to work with YWLA. So thank you. And I will turn it over to President Kurt.
Thank you, Tennessee. All right, so we're now going to allow the judges time to deliberate. We're going to go ahead with the closing announcements while they make these decisions. I know we're a little early today. So y'all go ahead and make your decisions. Closing announcements. First of all, I got a confession to make, and I'm going to tell on myself. This is not on the script at all. When I come in here, a lot of times I am just completely addled. My head is, I'm focused on this, and I see people, hey, how you doing? And I see you. and I just sometimes forget even who I am. And today on the way in, a gentleman with me on the elevator, and I'm like, oh, hey, how are you? I'm Kirk Driver. Oh, I'm Ralph. And it's like, oh, you coming to Rotary? Yeah, I'm coming to Rotary. Oh, great. So are you a member? Or I said, what do you do? Well, I'm a retired rabbi. I'm like, oh, you a member? Well, I'm 35 years. And I'm like, oh, man. Oh, geez. That is my fault. I believe the term is Meshuggah. Yeah. So with that, I apologize, Rabbi. I do know who you are, and I have known who you are, and I'm so glad to see you here today. But anyway, enough of telling on me. So, I'd like to thank you again to our sponsor, Patterson Law Group, courtesy of Rotarian Tennessee Walker. Patterson Law Group, thank you, is the largest personal injury law firm in Tarrant County with roots going back to 1995. Patterson Law Group has successfully guided approximately 6,500 injured clients through the personal injury legal process. Patterson Law Group prides itself on being a community law firm owned and operated by lawyers who are dedicated to serving the people and interests of this community. Patterson Law Group's success is built on the foundation of client service and attention to detail, not ridiculous TV ads. Personal injury is Patterson Law Group's bread and butter. They hope that you and your family never need their services. But if and when you do, Patterson Law Group is the right call. Thank you again to our sponsors. All right, closing announcements. Remember to put on your dancing shoes and meet at the Southside Preservation Hall tonight to hear Buddy's big band. Let Connie Blake know. Where you at, Connie? Raise your hand. Or is she at? She's in here. She was in here. Oh, she's over there. All right. Let Connie know if you want to join. I will tell you, Preservation Hall is a phenomenal venue for that. And Buddy's big band, I've seen them. They are fantastic. I think like the oldest player, he's a trombone player, if he's still around, is like 90-something years old. So, but they play great music. Next week, March 8th, Dr. Emily Messer, Texas Wesleyan University 21st president. We're not going to meet in here next week. We're going to the top of the town room next door. So right around the corner between here and the garage elevators. And now, Tennessee, you got our judge. Oh, he's in the back. They're still deliberating. Okay. Well, I'm out of stuff to talk about.
Mr. President?
Yes, sir.
If I could make an announcement.
Please.
A few weeks ago, we had the TCU baseball coach. Since he was here, they are 9-0 and undefeated. In addition, they're number 5 in the country.
All right, that is fantastic. And that is the power of speaking at a Rotary meeting, right there.
Maybe we have a Rotary social event at a baseball.
All right. So, hey, that's a great idea, actually. And our social director, Ed, are you jumping on that? Where's Ed Macklin? Are you going to be on that social committee now? Yeah, you are going to be like heading it, right? All right, so for the coming term, Ed is the guy to see on the, if you got ideas like that, which is a great idea, go see Ed. Looks like we have some people walking back all serious, like they've got some results. Tennessee, bring it on up.
Thank you, President Kirk. The tallies are in. Before we announce, we're going to announce our winner today. All 3 young ladies will receive a cash prize. And so thank you again for being here. Such a wonderful job. Can we give everyone a round of applause one more time? And based on the judges' scoring that is in, the winner of our competition today, who will represent Downtown Fort Worth Rotary at the regional competition, is Jessica Lorenzana. Congratulations, Jessica. I won't make you speak again, but I did want you to come up. We are so proud of all of you, and we can't wait for you to represent us at the regional competition. You'll continue to have me as a resource. If you want to practice, just let me know, but fantastic work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and congratulations. And thank you to all of our speakers today. Wonderful insight into what's going on in y'all's heads about life in the world and fashion and everything else. So, anyone else have any announcements? Anything else they want to talk about? No? All right. Well, with that, y'all have a great weekend. This meeting is adjourned.